So I realized an acute crisis and we had a chronic issue that we had to address. The initial crisis was in sewer, it was in sewage, but then we started realizing that all of our systems, roadways, bridges, everything was in the same condition, that we didn't even know what we owned sometimes. We literally found a bridge that we owned that we had completely forgotten. And part of my journey was once we got the immediate crisis taken care of and we were no longer bleeding sewage into the Tampa Bay, and we started being able to look at all of our facilities, all of our assets within the city of St. Petersburg, that's when we started realizing that we really didn't know what we had. So I started reaching out to the other large cities in the state of Florida: Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami. And in talking to each of them, none of them really had any citywide approach to understanding, assessing, doing risk analysis on all of their assets. Each city might have a department that does a good job of it, but as a city, none of the cities had any experience. So I had to start going outside of Florida, and I actually ended up going to Canada and Australia to find resources online that helped me understand what perhaps other government agencies have done to try to address this issue.
So everything is related to asset management, right? And it's one of those things that people don't think about when things are going really well, right? When you have predictable budgets, when you have reliable infrastructure, when you have a happy customer and client base, things are just running as they should. People don't really start to think about asset management until infrastructure is crumbling, or there's a leak into a beautiful tourist area, or if your capital budget is so unpredictable because you don't know what you have and what you own. As a consultant, we always try to counsel our clients: don't spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just collecting data that's going to immediately go stale, right? You go out, you do a condition assessment. Now you know what you own, but unless you have a broader system that information is feeding in and going to be kept live and utilized and sort of integrate into all these things that Claude was talking about, thinking about risk and capital investment and all that, it's sort of just I won't say it's money thrown out the window, but it's money that's spent that you're not able to leverage long-term because it immediately goes stale unless there's a broader programmatic kind of system in place. I know I'm super excited about launching this board in conjunction with Jim and Mike and the Asset Leadership Network, because like Claude said, so many cities are struggling with common problems and embarking on the journey for one reason or another. But there's not really that go-to place for cities and municipalities and counties to come together to just share and connect and best practices and those type of things. So we're really hoping that this ALN board creates that environment for that best practice sharing and connections.